Welcome to the Consumer Law elective. I'm going to be the module leader this year and I hope you enjoy the slides. I'm going to get out of your way now so you can see them. This is the Consumer Law elective and it's running in the first semester. This is me. I'm running the Consumer Law elective by myself. As you can see, I've a professorship in consumer law and I'm also a journalist with BBC Radio and BBC Television, and I write in your local paper. Don't bother buying it on a Thursday, look at what's wrapping your fish on a Friday. Anyway, this is to establish that what we do on this module is up to date what's happening now, although I do set it against the existing law. The way the module works is that there is one slot each week, as you'll find with most of your modules, but I don't run tutorials. I do, however, open my door to what I call surgeries, but it's just appointments that you and I can make, you and your mates if you like, can make to discuss matters of assessment and anything else you want to talk about. So there's a great deal of student-staff contact, but not formal tutorial timetable sessions as you might find in other modules. Here's the formal content of the module. I have to come up with expressions like this. So logically, with a consumer law course, it will be a study of the civil law, the law between individuals, the criminal law, what you're not supposed to do before you get dragged in front of the magistrates, administrative law, what the government departments and people like that are responsible for seeing gets carried out in the interests of all our consumers, because we're all consumers. We're consumers every day. Today, you will have been a consumer of something or other, whether it's a cup of coffee, a newspaper, a bus ride, whatever it may have been. Of course, not if you stole it. Here's the syllabus in a bit more detail, fairly predictable areas: the sale of goods, the supply of services, the law relating to products liability, which is concerned with people who hurt you, whether or not you bought the product, you were hurt by it, and that's a different and really a very interesting area of consumer law. And attached to that is the general provision about consumer safety, the requirements that manufacturers, producers, importers, suppliers of goods have towards keeping us all as safe as we can be, subject to us being stupid, which of course we see every day. There's some relatively new law on unfair commercial practices, which we'll be looking at in a little detail because there's some really good stories. So this module is not just about broken toasters and rubbish holidays, although that's not to say that we won't be discussing broken toasters and rubbish holidays. You'll want to know about the assessment on the module, how you're going to do brilliantly. There are two parts to the assessment. Firstly, at the end of the module, there'll be a sit-down, shut-up kind of in-class test, which will consist of one of a kind of case study series that I will have distributed throughout the module. You'll have a chance to look at them, compare them with your own notes, with your mates, come and discuss them with me. And at the end of the module, one of them will be the end of module assessment. Not something extra, not something that looks like, but one of the ones that you will have already had a chance to prepare. So that amounts to 40% of the assessment. The rest is a project. You get a chance to get 60% of the module marks for doing something that you want to do, something that interests you. To give you an idea, these are the kind of things that have been done over the past couple of years. You can see there at least 2 or 3 that you might have been interested in writing yourself, whether it's legal highs, very topical at the moment, whether it's romance scams, people like me getting invitations from apparently attractive people in Europe. Don't you want to be my friend? We'll be talking in some detail about how you should avoid those sort of things. Whether it's tattoos and the law, how many of you have got tats and are now regretting it? Airbrush to fake, you can see there all the kind of stuff, and these are all selections that students have made for projects on a module just like this one. So there it is, consumer law, the study of things that affect you every day. Doesn't require an enormous amount of prior learning in law. It accounts for a great deal of what you do every day. It is about everyday life, because every day we are consumers.